Welcome to Cavaletta Studios. I'm Chris. Yoga balanced amidst uncertainty. While each of us experience moments in our day that are beyond our control, how we adjust, adapt, and modify is key to how we handle uncertainty. It could be physical or emotional. Being transparent, I am currently working through some issues with my left glute and leg. So if you may see me utilize a block more often or not go as far into some postures. Grace in how we adapt enables us to do what we need to do in times of uncertainty. There are days that we can go deeper into our postures or hold for longer periods of time, while others simply finding support or a modification are just what is needed. So grab that block and let's get started. We're going to begin in child's pose, so knees apart, feet together. We're going to walk the hands forward and slide your belly between your thighs, hips to heels, and just melt down towards the floor. Maybe placing your head on the floor. If it doesn't reach the floor, feel free to put a block under your forehead. And then just rock your forehead side to side, massaging it on the floor of the block. Maybe using your hands on the floor to press your hips backwards. Start to shift and rock your whole body side to side. You can lift your head slightly off the floor. And then start to shift your head to one arm and then all the way across to the other. So the whole body is moving and shifting. Stretching and lengthening through the spine and the hips. Then finding your center, let's walk both hands to the right as far as you comfortably can go, and then shift your hips towards the left. Your whole body pushing away from your hands. So you're really lengthening through the left side of the body. Feel that nice stretch. Take another breath in, and then relax your head a little more. And then on your next inhale, lift your head, and then walk your hands across the center. Shift your body through the center to the opposite side as your hands walk to the left. And then melt your head down towards your arms, feeling the stretch to the right side of your body. So you're kind of leaning to the right as your arms reach to the left, twisting your child's pose. And just breathe here. Let your head relax a little more. Soften the elbows. And then on your next inhale, you'll lift the head, walk the hands towards the center, center your body. And then spread out those fingers as you reach the arms forward, and then gently shift your body up and over the hands. Bring your knees into alignment right under those hips. Tuck your toes under. And then shift your hips backwards again towards your heels. So you're really stretching through the ankles. And then shift your body again forward, over your hands, and then back again. Hips over heels, stretching the toes. And then one more time over the wrist, the whole body. And then walk your knees and shift your hips backwards just enough so you can come into a modified plank or a plank on the knees. Lengthen through the neck, pull those shoulders away from the ears, and just really engage that core. Belly is in, and then press into your right toe on the floor and straighten out your right knee. Just really push into that right foot. Start to lift your hips just enough that your left knee comes off the floor. Take a nice breath in, pull the belly in, and then as you exhale, lower both knees back to the floor, and then straighten out your left leg, pushing that left foot into the floor. Find your strength, lift slightly off the floor, both, so the right knee's coming up, lifting those hips slightly. Take a breath, pull the belly in, and then lower both knees to the floor. Untuck the toes, slide those hips back to the heels again. Release the arms all the way back, holding onto the arches of your feet. Round through the back, tuck your chin. Pull on those feet, really stretch through the neck. Another breath in. And then slowly release, reaching the arms forward. And then shifting back all the way to a tabletop so you can tuck your toes. And then shift to a downward facing dog. And then pedal out those feet. Walk your dog, shifting those hips. You want it to feel very good. Feeling the calf muscles and the ankles stretching out, even the hips. Then you're going to plant your left foot into the floor, extend the right leg up behind you. Bend that right knee and circle it 4 times around. And then after your 4th circle, go the opposite way. And then you're going to take your right foot between your hands and lower your left knee to the floor. Feel free to put a blanket or pillow underneath that knee. Keep that left toe tucked under, walking the hands up the thigh. Nice and tall. Lengthen through the spine, and let's pull those shoulders back and down, opening up that heart space. Feel the left hip flexor stretching out, and then we add the arms, reaching them up to the sky. Thumbs towards the back of our mat. Pressing into that left toe. You can stay here or you can lift to crescent. Engaging those legs. Take another breath in and then exhale all the way back down, releasing the hands to the floor, finding your plank. And engaging that core, nice and strong body. Slowly lower chaturanga, exhaling as you come down. Belly comes to the floor, untuck your feet. Forearms on the floor, lengthen through the spine as you do a baby cobra. Just a little lift. And then exhale back down. Hands next to the chest, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. And then walk your feet into position about hip distance apart. Pedal out your feet. Shift your hips, spreading out those fingertips. We're breathing and we are pressing into the fingers and the knuckles and the palms. And then we're going to plant our right foot into the floor. Lengthen and lift that left leg to a 3-legged dog. Bend your left knee and then circle that leg around 4 times. And just feel how nice it feels to move through the joint. After your 4th circle, you'll reverse direction and do 4 more. 3, 1 more. And there's 4, extend the leg, and then bring that left foot between the hands and lower your right knee, keeping that right toe tucked under, walking your hands up onto the thigh, making sure there's no pressure on the knee and the knee is over the ankle. Option to lift the arms, and maybe you stay here and just enjoy that right hip flexor stretch. If you'd like to challenge your leg muscles a little more, maybe lift to crescent. Bringing your right knee off the floor. Another breath, and then we lower all the way back down, hands to floor, and step back to plank. And then here we're going to really focus on our chaturanga. Rotate forward over the hands, elbows in towards the rib cage as you exhale and lower towards the belly, and then untuck the toes, upward facing dog or cobra, and then downward facing dog. And then adjust those hips and feet, pedal it out if you need to, and then soften the knees and find your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Shavasana, really pressing into those hands, lengthening through the spine as the belly goes towards the thighs. Soften or bend those knees. The heels do not need to touch the floor. Mine do not touch the floor because my calves are pretty tight today, especially my left. One might be tighter than the other. Then we're going to take a walk, go up into the toes, back into the heels, and then take a walk with the feet towards the front of your mat. Find your forward fold. And just hang out here. Hold the elbows, let the head hang heavy. Shift and slide your body side to side. Feel the lengthening and the stretching of the back of the legs and that low back. Then place your hands on your shins, straighten your arms, flatten the back. Half lift with an inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let's rise all the way up, reaching the arms to the sky. Exhale, palms to heart space. And breathe. Take another breath in, reach the arms up. Exhale the arms out to the side. Nice and tall. Finding your mountain. Check your toes that they're pointing to the front of the mat. And they're about 1 to 2 fist distance apart. And your palms are facing forward. Really opening up that chest. Take a breath in, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, palms behind the back. Interlace those fingers. Pressing the palms gently together without yanking or pulling those shoulders, and start to lift the arms away from your back. Feeling the arms, the hands being pulled to the back of the mat or to the sky. And you can stay here, you can add that forward fold. So your nose goes to the knees, arms up, soften or bend those knees. And just breathe here. One more breath. And then on your next inhale, you'll slowly rise all the way up. Arms go down by your hips as you come up. Then release the hands at the top and find your mountain again. Inhale the right arm up to the sky, left arm down to your hip. Side bend, reaching the right arm over your head to the left. Pushing your hips slightly to the right. And then slowly come up, windmill the arms. And slide it the other way. So right hand is on your thigh, left arm is overhead. Really reach those arms. And then coming back through the center, bring both arms down next to the body, open up. We're going to take the left leg back, or just turn whichever way you can. You're going to turn out sideways because we're going to be going back and forth to the front and back of the mat. Toes are going to face the side of the mat, turning in so your heels are right behind your toes. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms up, exhale, palms to heart space. Press those palms together, lift the elbows. Bend into your right knee or the one closest to the front of the mat and hinge those hips back. Getting a nice inner thigh stretch on that left leg. Let's extend the arms out to the side. And then pull your left foot off the floor, the toe off the floor. Not the whole foot, just the toe. So your heel's on the floor, feeling that nice inner thigh stretch. Rotate now. Foot goes back to the floor, come up tall, palms to heart space. Nice and wide legs, toes are still in front of the heels, heels behind the toes. Bend into the left knee. So that left knee starts to bend, but as you do, shift your hips backwards. So you're not putting all the pressure into the ball of the foot or the knee. And then extend the arms. So one side might be easier than the other. And then pull that right toe off the floor. So you're on your right heel. And reach those arms so you're bending to the back of the mat. And then rotate that foot back down. Come all the way back up, nice and tall. Find your star. Extend the arms up, palms open. Turn those toes nice and wide. And then bend the knees, find your goddess. Bend the elbows all the way open. Find your cactus arms. And then inhale, rise. Reach the arms back up to star. Palms together, exhale back to heart space. Turn your toes back forward again so the heels are behind your toes. Arms out at shoulder level. Shoulders are down. Leveling out your chin, open up. Flip your palms up and look up at the sky. Open up that heart space, making sure you're not going into that low back. Take a breath in, reach the fingertips up, look up at the hands. Exhale, both hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers, press the palms together, open that chest. And another option here is to forward fold. And bring those arms up, head to the floor. And just notice what's going on. Try to soften your knees. If they locked out, try to let the kneecaps soften and relax. Bringing the arms way up towards the sky or over towards your head. And then very slowly release your fingertips all the way to the floor. Bend into the knee to the front of the mat, the right knee if that's there. Reach the arms out to the side again. Pull that left toe up, inner thigh stretch. Option here to tuck your right shoulder or the shoulder towards the front of your mat inside the right knee and place the hand on the floor and lift the left arm up or bring it behind your back. and then slowly release. And then just shift sides all the way to the other side. Check in with your positioning. Maybe you don't come all the way down. My ankles are very tight, so I don't go all the way down to the floor. And then reach the arms out to the side. Lift your toe up to the front of the mat or that right foot. Tuck your left shoulder into that left knee or back towards the back of your mat. Hand on the floor. Reach the other arm up to the sky or behind your back. Just feel that nice squish in that left hip flexor, back leg. And then slowly release. Come all the way back up to center, palms to heart space. We're going to take our foot towards the back of the mat. Turn the toe open towards the back of your mat, your left knee or left toe. Bend into it. Find your warrior two to the back of the mat. So your right foot is facing the side, left to the back. Hips are open. So your whole body is facing the side of the mat. Look forward towards your back of the mat, towards your back toe. Make sure you can see it. And then I want you to straighten out your front, that left knee that's to the back of the mat. Left thumb up, reach towards the back of your mat. Palm open, find your triangle. And this is where you might want to use a block if you can't reach the floor, or you can have your hand inside the inner thigh or the bottom of the lower leg. And then reach that right arm all the way up to the sky, the top arm. Now we're going to bend into that front, that left knee, the one to the back of the mat, and then come back up to warrior two. Reverse your warrior, hand to the back of the mat or behind your back. So right hand behind the back, left arm up. And then take that left arm to the back thigh, side angle. Reach the arm overhead, the right arm, reach it to the back of the mat. Both arms reaching to the back. And you're breathing. And then extend maybe both arms to the back of the mat like you're holding a beach ball. Open up that top arm. And then pivot the right hand all the way down to the floor. Pivot off your back leg. Come to a low lunge. Twist your body towards that back leg. Open up to a lunge, low lunge with a twist. Left arm in the air. And then both hands back to the mat. Pivot and walk your hands back to the center between your wide legs. Both toes facing the front, or the side, I should say. The heels behind the toes. Flat back, hands behind the low back. Come up with a wide leg stance. And then pivot your right foot back to the front of the mat. So you're at an L with your feet, that front right foot to the bend, the right knee towards the front of the mat. Find your warrior two. Relax those shoulders. And breathe. Lengthen and open. Let's turn the right thumb up, the hand to the front. Thumb is up, straighten out the front leg. Hinge at the hips, find your triangle. Leaning into it, place the hand behind the, or in front of the thigh or the lower leg, lowering into that triangle. And one side might be a little tighter than the other. The top arm up into the sky. Now you're going to slowly bend into that front knee as you come back to warrior two. Let's flip the front palm up. Left arm to the back thigh, reverse your warrior. Or even bring the hand behind the back. And lengthen and breathe. Bring your front arm towards the front thigh. Find your side angle. Reach the top arm overhead to the front of your mat. Reach, reach. Take both arms and reach them out to the front of your mat. Find that beach ball, engage that core. And then you're going to take that top arm, reach it all the way to the floor. Find your low lunge, twist towards your front leg. Top arm to the sky. And breathe. And then bring both hands to the floor. Go ahead and step back to plank. So hopefully your hips are nice and warm now, really strong core. Engaging those muscles. Slowly bend the elbows. Lowering back down to the belly. Untuck the toes. Find your upward facing dog or a little cobra. And then downward facing dog. And breathe. Inhale and exhale. Pedal out those feet. Walk your dog. Shift your hips. Notice what's going on. Now you're going to soften into that left foot on the floor. Lift the right leg up. Bend the knees. Circle, circle, circle. And then stack those hips. Now, option, you can stay here, or if you would like to flip your dog to Wild Thing, you can flip it over, open it back up. And then we'll bring the hand to the floor, flip that right leg back up. And then bring that right foot between your hands. Find a low lunge. Lower your left knee to the floor, untuck the toe, walk it up. Find your low lunge, arms to the sky. And breathe, and then bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. Open up that chest, bring your palms towards your back thigh. Bend into it. Release the fingertips. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, both hands to the floor on the inside of that right knee. Walk the right foot open to the side, the right side of your mat. And then bring your right hand on the inside of that right knee or thigh, and then press it open as far as you can, really stretching it out. Now you have an option. If you want to go a little deeper here, you can drop to your left elbow and then also push that knee open for a little more of a hip stretch. And then we're going to release, lift back up, walk your right foot back to center, and then hinge your body backwards so you can straighten out your front leg. Stretching through that hamstring. Again, if you need blocks here, if it's hard to reach the floor, maybe bringing your nose towards your knee. Wiggle those toes. And then hinge back forward, hands on the floor, finding your plank. Really lengthening and stretching through the legs here. Slowly lower, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet if you need to. Find your downward facing dog. Draw your belly to the thighs, pressing into the fingertips and the palms. And then press into the right foot. Lift the left leg. Bend the knee, stack those hips. Option to flip your dog if you would like. Rotate around. Just feel how good that feels. And then bring the hand to the floor. And then flip it back around. And then you're going to take your left foot between the hands. Lower your right knee to the floor. Untuck the back toe so you can walk up the hands onto the thigh. And then release to a low lunge, but the arms are up. Shifting those hips forward. And then exhale the arms behind the back. Interlace the fingers, press those palms and the fingers towards your back thigh. Opening up the chest and the heart space. Oh, my balance today. And then release the fingertips all the way back up. And they're going to come down on the inside of the left knee. Walk that foot to the outside of the mat. Take your left hand, press on the inside of that left knee. Open it up. Let go to the outside edge of your left foot. And maybe that's plenty. Option to drop to your right elbow and then press it open. Just opening up those hips a bit. One more breath. And then we're going to release, bring the hands to the floor, and then walk that foot back to center. And we're going to straighten out the front leg, hinge those hips back. Maybe bringing the head towards the knee. Wiggle those toes, stretching out through that hamstring and calf. And then slowly hinging those hips back forward. Tuck your back toe under. Step back to plank. Finding your strength. From here, you can do a full vinyasa flow. You can even shift straight back to down dog if you'd like. Either one. So meet up in downward facing dog. Pressing into the fingertips and the palms, melting and bending those knees slightly. And breathe. We're going to take a walk with our feet again to the front of our mat, hop, step, or walk. Just find your forward fold. And this is where you might want your block. You might not need to use it, but if you do, I'm going to show you a couple ways to get into this posture. So we're going to place the block next to the left foot, and you're going to place your right foot on that right foot on the block, And then you're in your forward fold. And you're going to take your right shoulder and tuck it as tight into that right knee as possible, and then wrap that right arm underneath that right knee, and maybe hold on to the right foot, the outside edge of the block. Left hand goes to the left hip. So you're going to straighten out your left leg and then slowly start to lift yourself nice and tall, holding onto the leg for bird of paradise, and then extend the right leg up and finding that balance. Now, option here, if you're coming up, you don't have to use the block, so keep practicing. You know, maybe some of you can come all the way down, or if you don't have a block, you can grab that foot and just come up without the block and extend. Another option is just to stay on the block and practice lifting the foot slightly off the block if your balance is a challenge. So try a few options there. This is for you, not to me. You can also use a wall to try to get there, or even just hold on to the foot. So just like to give options. So hopefully you've practiced that a little bit. Go ahead and slowly come back down. Release the foot back to the block, unwind the feet, and release that right foot off the block. If you have a block, and slide it center and let your hands rest. And just hang out in this forward fold for a moment and breathe. We'll pause here. Now we're going to shift sides. So I want you to shift your weight to the right foot. Bring your block right next to it. Place your left foot on the block. So we're going to do the other side now. Tuck your left shoulder inside that knee, wrap it around, hold on to the outside edge of your left foot. Place your right hand on your hip. Again, use a wall if needed. Strengthen and feel that right leg grounding into the earth. And then as you come up, straightening out that right leg, lifting your body. One side might be more wobbly than the other, and then straighten out that left leg. And again, a wall is a great tool. Option, you do not have to use the block. You can come up. You can also just use the arm to hold the leg up. But it's more fun to wrap it under. Try to tuck it under and extend it up. So options, or again, stay on your block and just try to do little lifts from here off of your block. That is totally fine. It's about your practice and what your body can do. All right, so once you've tried that a few times and you feel like, okay, I'm good to go, bring it back down to the block, release your foot, bring the block back in front, and then turn your block as high as it'll go, and then let your arms rest on top and let your head hang heavy, and bend your elbows if they can bend. If you do not have a block, place your hands softly below your knees on your shins and pull your elbows into your thighs. And just soften the knees and everything. Just rest here for a moment. Lift those toes and then let the toes plant down. And then slowly inhale, lift your whole body up to the sky. Slight back bend, exhale, palms to heart space. And breathe. And then open it up to mountain, palms next to the body. Let's close our eyes for a moment and ground into the earth. And notice what's going on, the energy running through the body. Take your right arm, reach it up to the sky. Left palm on the thigh, slide it over, side bend. Right arm over to the left side, pushing your hips to the right. Grounding both feet into the floor, including that right arch of your foot. Press it into the floor. And then inhale, windmill the arms left arm up, right arm down. Slide the body to the left as the arm reaches over to the right. Opening up through that chest as well. Not slouching forward, breathing in. Think about the left arch of your foot pushing into the floor. And then inhale, both arms up. Exhale, both arms behind the back. Interlace those fingers. Press the palms together. Open it up, tuck your chin. Lift the arms slightly off the back or the glutes. And then release the fingertips forward about shoulder level. Thumbs are up. And breathe for a moment. Inhale. Good. Inhale higher with the arms. Reach them to the sky. Thumbs to the back of your mat. Shift all your body weight back onto that right foot. And then pull your left knee all the way up into your chest. Grab hold of the knee with both arms. Find your dristi, your non-moving focal point out in front of you. And then slowly start to hinge forward as you press your left foot back, arms forward to airplane or warrior 3. Level out your left hip. And then bring your hands back down to your block or the floor. If you have a block high, you can make it lower, or hands on the floor. Level out the hips. Pull your left knee to your right knee. The knee is bent. Bend the right knee as well. And then extend both legs straight. Kick the left leg back. And then bend in again, like you're doing a mini crunch, but the legs are coming in and out together. Extend the left leg back. Level those hips. Really drop that left hip down. Lift your right toes off the floor. Bring your head towards your knee, and then bring the knees together again. Extend out and hold. And then now start to twist your left hip up towards the sky. Now this is where you can use that block again. Place maybe your left hand on the floor or the block. Bring your right, I'm saying it backwards, your right hand on the floor or the block, left hand on your hip. Good. Opening it up. And lift that left arm up. And breathe. Both legs are straight, flexing your left foot. I'm using a block today because I'm a little wobbly. Half moon. So we all have those days. Use the blocks. And then go ahead and bring both hands back down to the floor of the block. Bend both knees and bring both feet to the floor. Center your block. Inhale, rise. All the way up. Exhale, palms to heart space. Press both palms forward. Thumbs are up. Inhale the arms all the way up. Thumbs to the back of the mat, relaxing the shoulders. Shift your body weight to the left leg. Take a breath in, lift the right knee to the chest, give it a hug. Flex your right foot, and then slowly start to hinge forward, pressing your right foot to the back of the mat, both arms forward. Finding your warrior 3, level out that right hip, and then bring your hands to the block. It can be high, medium, or low, or the floor. And then bend your left knee as you pull your right knee to meet it. And then extend both legs straight. The right leg kicks to the back of the mat. Straighten the left leg. Maybe bring your head closer to your knee. And then repeat to bend, hug the knees, and then extend them out. So you're like bringing the knees like you want to crunch them into your belly. A little rounding in the back, and then extend them straight. Lengthen through the spine. Let's do one more. Bring the knees in. Extend them out. Flex your right foot. Left arm on the floor or the block. Right hand on the hip. Start to open up for your half moon. And use a wall if you would need to. Really straighten out. Open up that hip. Stacking the hips. One more breath. Embrace the wobbliness. And then bring the hands to the floor. And then slowly bend both knees and bring both feet flat. So I'd go ahead and slide your block out of the way. And then inhale, rotate, and lift all the way up. Arms to the sky. Exhale, palms to heart space. How'd you do on that? Were you a little wobbly and shaky? That's okay. That's why we do this, so we can improve our nervous system and strengthen everything. Let's release to mountain, palms forward. Lift the toes off the floor and then let each toe press into the floor, grounding into the earth. Feel your shoulders pull away from the ears. Tuck your chin just slightly. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel your feet grounding into the earth. Feel the energy running up and down the body. Take a deep breath. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive. Good, let's bend the knees, step back to plank. Engage that core. And breathe. Shift your body all the way back to down dog. Adjust the feet, walk your dog, pedal it out. Separate those fingers nice and wide, spread them out. And then lift that right knee up to the sky, three-legged dog, and then pull that right knee into pigeon. So that right knee comes to the right wrist, right ankle or foot to the left hand, and then slide straight back. Finding that right hip and hamstring, just do a couple little side-to-side sways to melt into it, and then walk those hands forward. And then reach those fingertips, if you can, as wide as you can, not as wide, but as wide as your mat. Fingertips like tents, and then lower your forehead to the mat. And then rotate your left hip towards the mat as much as you can. And breathe. Start to relax those shoulders. And then let the palms, now palms relax on the floor. Feel the length between your fingertips and all the way to your toe, the left toe. 2 more breaths. Last one. Then we'll start to lift our head off the floor. Walk the hands in nice and close to the body. Lift through the chest and lengthen and stretch through that left hip flexor. And breathe. Shifting onto your right glute or hip, pull that left leg all the way forward and cross the leg and give it a nice hug. If the leg doesn't come across, that's okay. You can always place your left foot on the floor in front of your right shin, or you can cross it over the thigh and lift nice and tall. Use your left hand behind you as a kickstand, twist that body. As you're hugging in that left knee, feel that glute stretch in that left butt cheek and hamstring and glute and hip and everything. Enjoy that nice twist there. Lengthening and stretching that tissue, and we soften it, and this is hydrating it. Last one. Then we're going to release slowly. So take that left leg, unwind it, bring it behind us, and then shift onto your hands and knees. Spread out the fingers, tuck your toes. Let's find our downward facing dog. Make adjustments with the hips, maybe walk the dog if you need to. Pressing into your fingertips and palms. Lift the left leg, three-legged dog. Pressing your right heel into the floor, and then bend the left knee. Pull the left knee to the left hand. Pigeon on the other side. Slide your right leg back as far as it comfortably can go, and then do a shift in the hips and the body, side to side, just easing your way into that left hip. Now again, if this is challenging to get into this position, you can use a block or a pillow. Remember, you can always sit on it to protect that knee or anything you have going on the body if you're not quite here yet. Then we're going to walk the hands as wide as the mat, way out front. Find those tent fingers and then melt into your pigeon. And then once you get there and you're lengthened through the spine, the chin is tucked so you're lengthened through your neck, let your palms relax onto the floor. Maybe your head goes to the floor. Maybe not. It's okay. And just enjoy the stretch. We never want to strain or force it, so just go where your body can go. Some days might be different than the others. One more breath. We're going to start to walk our hands up closer to the shins, lift through the upper body, really lengthen and stretch through that back right hip flexor. And then we're going to shift onto the left butt cheek or left hip. If you have a block or blanket, you want to take it out from under that hip and bring that back right leg in. The foot can go on the floor in front of that left shin or across to the outside edge of the right thigh. And then we're going to hug that right knee in, lift and twist. And breathe. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Feel that nice stretch through the glute and the hip. And then when we unwind, we're going to bring both legs forward and we're going to straighten them out. Find your Dandasana, your staff or stick pose. Sit up nice and tall. Flex the feet, take a breath, inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, but stay tall through the spine so we're not collapsing and rounding. So you want to get that belly towards the thighs, soften the elbows. Just reach to wherever you can. Maybe it's behind your knees or your calves. Maybe if you can reach your toes, you can shoot for getting your toes on your wrist and wrapping your fingers around the bottoms of your feet. And then bending the knees, but keeping the tall spine at the same time, lifting up through the head, looking forward, and opening that chest again. So even if you're not holding the feet, say you're holding behind the knees, you're still doing the same thing. You're pulling the elbows in and pulling the belly to the thigh, but you're opening up the chest and lowering the shoulders away from the ears, no matter where those arms are placed. And then slowly release, walk the hands up the thighs, slide your hands underneath the back of the knees, bend your left knee, pull it up so you go onto the heel, and then your right. Lengthen, holding the back of the thighs or the back of the knees, start to hinge backwards so you start to engage that core. And breathe. And breathe some more. Release those arms, inhale. Now option to stay here or hold the thighs or even lift the legs or release. So finding your boat, feet are separate, knees are apart, shins are level, shoulders are back and down. Take a deep breath in. Now from here, we're going to switch all the way onto our hands and knees. So you can go however you want to get there, or you can cross your legs, rotate down, and bring your feet behind you onto the hands and knees. So your hands are at the front of your mat, toes towards the back, hinge forward just like at the beginning. So now our shoulders are over our wrist. Pull the shoulders away from the ears and hinge the hips forward from your knees so you're in a modified plank, and we're going to tuck those toes under. Engage the core. Start to feel like someone's kind of pulling your belly button up through your spine, so you're really engaging that core, and then straighten out your right leg, pushing into the toe on the floor, and then the left to find your full plank. And just breathe here for a moment. Shoulders away from the ears. Find your upper body strength. And then very slowly, start to lower your right knee back to the floor, and then your left. Untuck your toes, slide your hips back to your heels. Keep your arms as far forward as you can. Then you're going to lift your head, look forward between your fingertips, lower your elbows to the floor as you start to hinge your body forward. Your hips stay up in the air. Good. And just come here a little ways and then hinge backwards. Again, loosening up through the shoulders. And this time we're going to come up again. This time you're walking your fingertips forward. So you come up, so you're coming almost into a tabletop, but your elbows are on the floor out in front of you. Your hips are over your knees. And then you're going to start to reach those arms forward, working to puppy dog. Slide your hips back further, but then try to lower your chin. So you're really stretching through the armpits. And breathe. If it's uncomfortable for your chin, you can always lower your head or your forehead to the mat, and you can use a block as well. And then slowly release. Slide all the way down now to your belly. So your elbows are still on the floor, but right next to you. And then gently press the palms into the floor. Lengthen through the spine as you lengthen and lift to a baby cobra, pressing those fingertips and palms into the floor. Really stretch out the head. Let your head gently rock side to side as you look down towards your hands. And then slowly lower the belly back to the floor. Slide your hands by your chest wall, and then use your muscles to press yourself back up to that modified plank. So your shoulders are over your wrists and you're on your knees. Tuck your toes. Start to shift your hips backwards towards your heels. And then lift your knees slightly off the floor, engaging those core muscles. So one of the key things in life is to be able to get up and down off the floor. So this is a great way to strengthen everything to do that. Lower your knees towards the floor. Shift your body forward. Find your full plank one more time. Last full plank. And breathe. Start to drop your right hip to the right side. Rotate onto the outside edge of your right foot and inside edge of your left. And then slowly rotate back to a full plank, and then pivot your hips to the left, dropping to the outside edge of your left foot, inside edge of your right. Nice hip stretch, and then all the way back to center, full plank. Rock forward onto those toes, back into towards the heels, and then lower your knees. Separate your feet, toes together, find your child's pose. Belly between the thighs, and then reach your arms behind. Grab hold of the bottoms of your feet. Round through your back, pull gently down, tucking your chin. One more breath. Just really feel that stretch through the back and the shoulders. And then we'll release. Fingertips to the floor. Go ahead and slide your knees together. Shift onto your hips. Bring your feet in front. We're going to just lower ourselves all the way onto our backs and hug the knees into the chest and give it a rock side to side, massaging out that low back. So we got some good stretching and strengthening and balance. Just your basics from yoga that we love to work to keep our bodies functioning. And then we're going to slowly bring those feet to the floor. Let your head be in neutral. Walk your shoulders away from the ears. Palms are down on the floor. And then maybe walk your feet in close enough that you can touch the ankles or the heels. And then pressing up to a bridge, lengthening through the whole spine. And then slowly lowering those hips all the way back down. And then walk your feet as wide as your mat and then draw both knees together, pushing your belly into the floor. And then release the knees open over the ankles and then walk the feet back in so they're about hip distance apart. Make adjustments. And then drop both knees to your right so they're just slightly apart. Option to bring your right foot on top of your left thigh, and then you can have your arms out to a T. And just relax. You can bring them in cactus arms. You can do whatever you want. And just breathe. Look, turn your head to the left. Feel that nice stretch. If you want a little extra stretch on the left side of the body, you can always reach your left arm over your head. And just breathe here. And then bring that left arm back down, uncross your right foot off the thigh. Bring your head to neutral as you bring your knees up to neutral. Realign your feet about hip distance apart. Center your hips. Drop both knees to your left. Maybe turn your head to the right. Feel a nice stretch up the body. Option to bring your left foot on top of your right thigh. A little extra stretch through that right hip. Option to reach your right arm overhead. And breathe. So sometimes we get challenged. So I might have thrown a few challenges at you today. And just breathe. Sometimes when we're not prepared for them, it can throw us off balance a little bit. But our body will learn to adapt, and we do it with what we can with what we have at the moment. Go ahead and bring that right arm back out to the side. If it was overhead, bring your head back to neutral. Uncross your left foot and bring the knees back to center, walking those feet in. Then hug your knees into the chest, give them a squeeze and a rock side to side, massaging out that low back. You can even draw circles, hold behind the knees and draw circles on the ceiling with the knees. And then change direction of your circle. And then find your center, extend the legs up to the sky. Now if you'd like, you can always put a block under your hips. You can relax here for a little bit longer. You can just let your legs stay up to the sky. If you're close to a wall, you can put your feet up on a wall. And just breathe, relax those shoulders. If you're not sure what I mean by the block under the hips, you would go into a bridge and then draw that block under the hips and the tailbone. It's just a supported staff pose. Shoulders are relaxed. And breathe. One more breath. And then we're going to lower the knees and the feet all the way to the floor. If you have a block, you're going to remove the block out to the side. Hug those knees into the chest. And let's find our happy baby. And again, you can hold just the big toes, pull the knees down. You can wrap your arms on the inside to hold the outside edges of your feet and just give it a rock. Or you can just hold the inside or outside edges. So you have lots of options on what feels good to you for your happy baby. And maybe straighten out that right leg, find your center, and then bend it. Straighten out the left, get a little extra stretch there, and bend it. And then release those feet, hug the knees one last time. And then the feet lower to the floor. We're going to straighten out the legs, straighten out the arms, reach them overhead. Full body stretch. And then go ahead and exhale and bring your arms next to your body. Walk your shoulders away from your ears, and we're going to close our eyes and pause for a moment here in our Shavasana. Feel the energy, feel everything running up and down the body, from the toes to the fingertips to the top of the head. Thank your body for all that it's done for you so far today, and even just in this practice. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, you can either bend your knees and hug them in. You can roll to your side. You can push yourself up. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana a little longer. You can come up and sit in a tall, nice, easy seat. And you can even sit on a block if you'd like to get a little length. I'm going to sit on a block. Change it up today. Sitting up nice and tall. Realign those ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Palms are down on the thighs, shoulders back. Take a deep breath in through the nose and then gently let it out through the nose. You've done good things for your body today, keeping it moving. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, palms to heart space. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.